So the other day, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw an article that Hobby Lobby was closing. Now, concerned, because Hobby Lobby is one of my favorite stores, I clicked on the article and it said something about due to religious beliefs clashing with government mandates, all of the Hobby Lobby stores are just closing. Now this made me a little scared until I realized that what I was reading was a BuzzFeed article. And I realized that this is probably not true, and it's not, by the way. False information is a big problem in today's society. Now, because there is such a big problem, people must learn how to use social media properly. False advertising and false information is a big problem, and people will now believe almost anything. It is now just as much an issue of safety as it is misinforming the public to gain recognition and ratings for a news source, or tricking people into downloading viruses onto their computers. Today we are going to talk a little bit about this problem and how it pertains to you guys, and a little bit of what you can do about it. Mitch is going to talk a little bit more about this problem, and Bushra is going to expand on solutions, and then I'm going to finish it up with what you can do individually to combat this problem. So now I'm going to pass it over to Mitch to talk a little bit more about the problem.
Yep. And this problem, it's not even with just the media in general, it's also with social media, and it's gotten out of control over the past couple of years. And in general, many people can't distinguish what a real news story is between a fake one, and as a result, people get fooled into thinking a certain way. This fake news is edited content that is posted by news outlets, and it's usually just an individual working for a news company, and there's usually no evidence to it. A lot of it's opinion, and they try to feed you their opinion to think their way. These articles and news stories come from biased media outlets, whether it's liberal or conservative, and they leave these clickbait headlines to try to get you into the article and start reading it. In general, these media outlets are getting bad, and Facebook this year even sent out warning messages to German voters because we could see with the United States election that it got so bad that the media had such an influence on the result of the election that Facebook was sending out warnings to those German voters. And also a recent Gallup poll was released in September and found that only 32% of Americans today believe in the popular news media, which is the lowest it's ever been, and it just shows how little of trust we have in the media today. Children and teens are also being targeted with these fake social media accounts and phony ads that'll try to sell them something when they're not as smart with buying things because they're younger. In 2011, USA Today came up with an article that talked about how predators can easily use these social media networks, online games, phones, webcams to target these minors, and anyone is susceptible to this. It's dangerous and it's a problem, and it's very easy for them to target a young person. Ernie Allen, he's the CEO of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and he said that this new technology creates more opportunities for potential offenders to engage with the minor. So it's very easy nowadays with technology. Even though technology is great, it's dangerous, and you need to be safe with it, and that's what Bushra is going to be talking about. She's going to go on to the solution and give us some tips.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. And like you said, I'm going to be talking about the solutions for this problem, which is basically highly encourage you guys to be more self-aware when using the web. The major key is using common sense, because without that, I guess things can go wrong. Ranging from online dating to using the web for school, people will fall for anything, and people don't know what is real, who is real, and what is wrong and what is right. According to American psychologists, internet sex crimes often deal with and lead to statutory rape or pedophilic child molesting. Now, these days you can see kids have phones, tablets, access to Wi-Fi, where in areas when our generation was younger, we actually went outside and we dealt with what we had to do. People that are predators online can lure a child into any corner, anywhere, just thinking it's someone else, which is a big problem, obviously, that needs to be fixed. Using the web for school or for work, you You need to be able to tell which is a credible site and which one is not a credible site. It can often lead to a bad report for school or misinformation for work, which usually causes problems on your end as well. If it's too good to be true, then it most likely is. A lot of people use the online internet to buy or sell things these days, especially. We can tell the businesses in this area are shutting down and opening up because of that. And Craigslist, for example, people sell things and buy things, but many things seem to be off. Like if you're gonna buy a car on Craigslist, if it's brand new and it says it's $2,000, it's most likely not gonna be $2,000, you guys. And those are things to look out for and to make sure you never give out your personal information. Credit card information, name, last name, address, things like that are for professional businesses only, and you shouldn't be giving that out because that's how people steal your identity. They don't have to just steal your kids. Identity can be stolen. And now I'm gonna hand it over to Julie, who's gonna finish it off.
Thank you so much, Bushra. It mostly just comes down to knowing about what is true and what is false and distinguishing the difference between them. I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do as an individual to protect yourself. One of the best things that you can do is be smart about what you post and what you believe. I know all of you have sat through lecture upon lecture from the police officers telling you don't give out your information, make sure your passwords are secure, and most of it just went right over your head. But it is very important to know the difference and pay attention to what they are telling you. It's also true to, as Bushra said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that goes for things that seem very outlandish and you're definitely curious about this. I once read an article that a mermaid was found on the coastline. That's obviously not true, and it almost downloaded a virus onto my computer. Make sure, as I said, make sure your passwords are hard to guess. We genuinely care about your safety and the safety of everyone in this community, and we don't want anything to happen to you. So we encourage you to make sure you are safe. We encourage you to be careful about what you post and what you believe is true on social media and the internet.